Hey guys, welcome back. It's time. We're going to take a look at some more fake Pokemon cards, some more fake graded PSA Pokemon cards to be exact. We looked at Dustin Souza, Trading Nest, recently, who was ripping people off with these fake slabs. One like the example on the left being an exact example of what he was dealing with. And we're going to take a look online here at some photos of counterfeits. Don't be fooled by the fact that the case might not be exactly the same. This is coming from the same spot. We get the same counterfeit. We get the same case. They'll change the label so that I guess it's slightly harder for PSA to take legal action against them. But don't be fooled. That stuff can change. So as always, familiarize yourself with the card that you're buying. Make sure you look up the cert number on the PSA database, and if all else fails, we're going to show you. You can Google that cert number, and usually you're going to come up with the answer. If you see anything fishy in between and you can't see an image of it, stay away. So, lucky for us, these cosplay Pikachus, if you want to call them that, the Japanese promos, they're pretty popular. They're pretty expensive. They're pretty popular at this point in time, especially in a PSA 10. Your Mario and Luigi Pikachus, especially, and then Pikachu dressed up like other Pokemon. All right, so leftmost example, you can see here, we got the cert number, we got the PSA label, very fake slab, and so is the one on the right-hand side here. So again, it'll say PSA. It's not going to say GSF or whatever the crap they want to pretend that they are. They are blatantly trying to copy PSA slabs. So you need to know what you're looking at. You need to know here we have a no example or no PSA letters down in the bottom right. Those will always be there. They change depending on the era of the cert. So you need to know what the certs look like, what the case looks like for the certain era of cert. So if it starts with a 6, etc., it's all going to be in the same type of case. With this example, we can easily enough. Okay, wait, we're skipping ahead here. We gotta stick with the. We're on the Pikachu still. All right, Pikachu. So if we look up the Pikachu cert on the psacard.com/cert/ enter the cert number after that, you'll end up with an image. This is the actual cert number 605-74559. Guys, if you haven't watched the other video, go and watch that. It was a premiere. I'll put the link up here, up above, with the Dustin Souza fake slab stuff. So if you're worried about fake slabs, you can't just blindly trust the fact that it's in a plastic case and it's going to be legitimate. They're getting better and better at copying the plastic slab itself. Again, there are little tricks. We won't go back through them all. But a couple of the videos recently that we've gone through, particularly somebody that was recasing Zhao, who was recasing real cards, real 10s, crack out the 10, put in like a 9 or an 8 or something that looks like it could probably pass for a 10, putting them in the fake slabs. So you can see in the corners here, maybe not so easy to see on screen, but the corners not very crisp on any of these because they're making a mold of the actual PSA case, and then it has imperfections, we'll say the least. So all right, here's the real thing. Lucky for us, on these bad boys, we got sparkles, we got hollow pattern throughout the entire card, and you can easily side by side compare the two of them and know that these are not the same card. The sparkle locations, not even close. And not something that probably ever will be, short of them actually just straight up copying, as we've seen with the TCG player cards, where the holo foil isn't actually holo foil, it's just printed onto the card itself, in which case you can kind of see it from all angles. So it kind of, even though the print quality is Garbarino, you can usually tell just by that. So all else fails, we go to Google, we type in just the cert number, just type the cert number in, go to images, and you'll see here, not only do we have the real example here from PSA, but we also have a fake one. So here's your side-by-side. Don't accidentally look up the fake one and think that it's the real thing. What's going on here? Okay. Example number 2. So here's where we get into a little bit of difficulty. We have a very slightly older cert here with the 525-57325. And this probably should be deactivated. or PSA should add like an actual photo of the card that it's supposed to be. This is where it gets, I guess, a little bit. We got another layer, and as we mentioned before, this is where we can use Google. Google's gonna save our buns here. Actually, this one I don't think it saves our buns very much because we don't have the real card example, but we do have a fake one. So if you see your card and it looks a whole lot like like the one that's being sold by a certain alley site, then there's a 10 out of 10 chance that you got a fake card. Next, Gyarados time. This one actually has the image on the PSA site, and again, this is why I think it's important that you have photos of every single card that is graded. Otherwise, the cert number doesn't mean a whole lot when they can just type in that exact same number. Not telling you a whole lot. All right. Also, be a little bit weary. Like, some people are just dumb and they cover the cert number because they think it's like they're gonna get scammed, like it's their credit card number or something like that. But oftentimes when somebody's covering the cert number, it's because they don't actually own the card, and they don't want you to figure out the fact that they don't own the card. So side-by-side comparison here, we got the Gyarados and the other Gyarados. Quite the color difference. First of all, it could just be lighting though, but overall, once again, the holo pattern is a dead giveaway that this is not the same card. If it was a card that didn't have a holo pattern, or if somehow they copied the holo pattern, you can also see the fact that like the centering here, there's way less chunk on the top side of this guy. Centering is far from perfect. It's kind of like messed up all over the place. So just keep that in mind, I guess. All right. Next card. I guess here we have the search, and once again, we get both the real example and the fake example. Oftentimes, if it was like an eBay listing, that it'll come up through the PSA database. If it was on eBay or if somebody else posts it, it'll show up, and then so will the fake. I don't know why they use the cert number and the fake. I'm not totally sure on that. What the reasoning is behind that, but who knows? All right, Magikarp time. Once again, guys, if you're not noticing the difference between these two, then you gotta step back and learn this stuff. This should be painfully obvious. The sparkles are not in the same sparkle zone. So you see here, we got two little sparkles by the bubble, and here we got sparkles, but they're not in the right spot. No sparkles in around here. Again, we got the rounded cases. Ignore the GSF. That's a decoy. If this was the final example that was actually on the market, you'll see a PSA an indentation. So we've covered the differences between the PSA logo down at the bottom. Oftentimes it's not quite clean, or it's like an older version on the wrong type of slab. So that's all stuff that you awesome graded card collectors get to worry about. Next, we take a look. Google tells us Magikarp, shows us the real one, shows us the fake one. Sick nasty. What's going on here? We got the Mega Charizard coming up next. We get two different Mega Charizards. We got Mega Charizard X. Very cool, MCX, because they ran out of label space. We do not have a photo for this one because it's a 4 cert. That sucks. So if we use our handy dandy Google, we see here we got both the real and the fake one. Sick. So this goes the same with anything in terms of it doesn't have to be necessarily these Japanese cards, these fakes. But if you compare side by side the card that somebody is trying to sell you, and sorry about all these other Google images that have nothing to do with anything, but if you compare them side by side, especially if there's a holo pattern, especially if there's a big difference in the centering, you should see the difference. All right, next we got the Mega Charizard Y. Y. Oops. We got to make sure that we're not clicking on anything as we come across here, as we hover, or we'll screw up our presentation and we'll get a bad grade. Okay, Mega Charizard Y. Same thing. We got nothing showing. Did we skip one here? Am I losing it? I am losing it. All right. We got Mega Charizard Y. Nothing showing. We need to show the right one. There we go. All right. Nobody saw that. We messed up a little bit, but there's no turning back now. Definitely not going to edit that out. All right. Same deal. We got some kind of tank top. We got some Halloween decorations, but we have the real and the fake versions of the card. Usually all the fake versions are going to have the same hollow pattern. But yeah, it won't be the same as the real thing. It will be in terms of if it's like the WotC cards or anything that's on TCG Player. That's usually the first place you need to search. You need to go to Google. You need to type in TCG Player and then whatever the card is. And the first image that shows up, it's usually the cleanest example on Google Images. So that's where all the counterfeiters pull from. Conveniently. If only they had watermarked their images, their website images. That would have been nice of them. All right, next. The Ray. It's 6 cert, so it has an image. Very nice. We don't have the big hollow dot here. We do have one by the side of the eye. Here we got a big hollow dot here. Nothing by the side of the eye. Like I mean, all you have to do is like look at a couple of the locations of these hollow stars and whatever you want to call them, the hollow pattern in general, and even then the centering not even close to the same. We got some damage on the corner of this bad boy, but it's a proxy. Again, I hate the word proxy. So if we look it up here, there are images. I guess they showcase them at some point with the shiny and the non-shiny rays. Then we have the fake one as well. Sick. Next, shiny. Let's check the shiny. We got the shiny Ray. Once again, look, he's got a big giant star right on his face here. Hopefully this makes sense. I know we're going through a lot of examples here. And probably overkill for what you guys need to know. But I get asked all the time. I get everyone and their dog is like, hey, does this look real? Well, here you go. Here's a video comparing side by side. So next time someone asks me if their Poncho Pikachu or their Cosplay Pikachu, whatever you want to call it, is real, they can watch this video and hopefully learn it themselves. Because that's the most important thing, right? Everyone can identify their own real or fake cards. Grading companies, because they don't spend very much time on it, can get it wrong. They can absolutely get it wrong. But if you're spending a lot of money and it's a meaningful amount of money to you, you need to do the research beforehand. You need to know this stuff. You need to be able to see the difference between left and right here immediately. Again, the lighting could be different, but in general, even if the colors were spot on, if you look this up and you see that one or the other is wrong. So here we actually have one of the fake ones before we have the real thing posted on Google. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully this guy gives you guys an idea. I mean, they're always going to be changing. So the biggest thing when you're looking at anything counterfeit is just going back and forth between an image of the real thing, whether it's a booster box, whether it's the wrap on booster boxes, whether it's a trading card, whether it's a graded card. Look at the real thing, especially when there's images, when it's got a certain number. Do your best to find that certain number, and if you can't and you're still sketched out by it, you don't purchase. It pains me to see that people were actually like getting fooled by this stuff, but it's gonna happen. It's absolutely gonna happen, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Hopefully, share this out if there's anybody that's learning how to identify this stuff. Take the real thing, take the fake thing. It's the same thing I tell people in real life. They're like, "Is this card fake?" I like, okay, take a real card, put it next to a fake card. Even if you compare the backs, because you don't have the same card, compare the two backs. If the color's off, if it looks like it's printed like crap compared to a real card, it's probably a fake card. Short of it being like some kind of super special error, probably a fake card. Thanks for tuning in. I know this was redundant and painful for those that are like super knowledgeable in the hobby, but I think if it helps even a few people out to avoid getting scammed or ripped off with this stuff, and gets more eyes out there, that if you see somebody that's selling this crap, point it out for everyone else. Send it my way. Maybe we'll make a video about the person that's trying to rip people off with this stuff. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining the Discord, and I'll see you next time.